Hey everybody, welcome to the happy hour. It's just me and Ramon today, two Ramigos, Vice three. And how you doing, Ramon? What a game last night, huh? We kind of predicted it. We were right on it. I felt like I was on the island though with Florida at the under, but yeah, what a game, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it could have went either way with two elite teams there. And look, I think in the end, Florida may, if you look on their roster there, I feel like their play guys were like a little bit more of a playmaking team, anyways. And Houston kind of looked like the Houston we saw in previous iterations, where they just didn't have the maybe top-notch offense to make those big plays. Obviously, when you turn the ball over four times in the last minute or two of the last couple minutes of the game, it showed their weakness that they've kind of had throughout the years. So great job by Florida and Houston. They're still a bridesmaid. Florida's won before, so I remember those great Florida back-to-backers, and of course when they lost to Michigan State, if you remember back that far, that was a great game too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was a heck of a game. And what I didn't like about it was the fouls started coming out of the woodwork in the second half. If you look at the fouls called in the first half, it was like 5 fouls and to 24 in the second half. So, hey, it is what it is. And I remember because Auburn had that same play. Florida kind of coerced Baker Mazara into doing that jump shot and then dropping it. Same thing, and that was a key play for Auburn losing that game because they were within 6 at the time, and that 3 goes. It's a 3-point game. So yeah, what a game last night. How you doing today? Anything on the board yet?
We saw those great Champions League games. Here I'm involved in a baseball game here with the Under and the White Sox and the Guardians. So we're looking okay there. But, interesting results from the Champions League today. We've got to see what happens in those games tomorrow as well. So we're well underway on our betting card today. And, man, what a card.
Yeah, what a job by Arsenal, man. But you got to go to Bernabeu. We'll see what happens next week with that one. So let's get started. Let's get to the NBA, if you will, and check these latest injury reports. Ron Hahn's saying that Braun and Luke is in. I'm still got him game time decision. Let me refresh real quick. Not that I
Yeah, I
don't
think
trust
we
you,
are
Ron.
seeing them. The line has even moved, Ron, so that should tell you right there.
Yeah, somebody's playing.
All the
Yeah.
way back down to 9 here, 9 at most places, some 9.5. And you're talking about
Yeah.
a game that had snuck up to as high as 15. So, surprise, surprise here. Sometimes that's when they get a little clunky,
They
though, in a
do.
way. Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it if you want.
We'll start with the 7-10s. We'll go to the 7-40s. First off, we have Memphis and Charlotte. Memphis laying 15.5, 227.5. We have the Chicago Bulls at the Cleveland Cavs. 14 for the Cavs, 238. No Donovan Mitchell there. And Giddey, I think, still questionable. So I'll look at that one. Yeah, Giddey's still questionable in that one. So, and Kobe is out. Kobe White is out. So definitely a big person in that game. Next one, we'll go to Washington, Indiana. It looks like Washington getting 18.5 on the road at the Pacers. Atlanta to Orlando. Looks like Trey's going to play. It looks more than likely. Atlanta is getting 4 on the road at the Magic. And the big one, Boston, New York, looks like I know we saw Jalen Brunson on Sunday. He did return, so hopefully we get him again tonight. Let's look at those injuries real quick for that one. Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum. Oh, yeah, Tatum's a game time decision. Porzingis, pretty much everybody on Boston side. Brunson looks like he's going to go again. So looking and the Knicks are favored by 2 right now.
Yeah, that's it.
What?
That's a flop of the favorite overnight. So
Right.
I'm not looking too
Mhm.
much into those injuries. And I also wonder what the motivations are of these two teams. But, they're kind of probably right in the position they're going to finish in. So.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. The same thing. He's like, "Hey, do these guys want to play?" They're pretty much locked in. And finally, we got New Orleans at Brooklyn. The Nets laying 3, and let's look at that injury real quick. And it looks like nothing really new for New Orleans. Cam Johnson is going to be out for Brooklyn, though. So, and D'Angelo Russell. What do you got in those first group there, Ramon?
I'm going to go to the game between Atlanta and Orlando because it's kind of, we're looking for teams with motivations or something to play for anyway. And with Orlando and Atlanta, they're right there in the 7 and 8 spot at the top of the play-in. They're not going to go any further. And one of these teams is probably going to finish 7th, and one of these teams is probably going to finish 8th. And you got two teams that are kind of playing right now. Orlando feels like, to me, they're playing a little bit better. They've covered 8 of the last 12, 6-2 straight up in their last 8. Meanwhile, Atlanta's 2-5 straight up in their last 7, and 2-6 ATS in their last 8 meetings with Orlando. So I'm going to take Orlando here and lay 4 points against Atlanta tonight. Right now, they are the team that is in 7th place, 1 full game ahead of Atlanta. So I think it's a very interesting game. I'm going to take Orlando and to cover the spread as well.
I agree with you on that one. I'm going to also look at the first game on the block, and that's Memphis. We know what this Memphis team is not doing, and that's not covering spreads. This is way too many points, and it keeps climbing higher. So that does give me a little bit of worry, but I would take the plus 15.5 with Charlotte in that one. And like I said, I agree with you on Orlando in that one. Let's go to the late slate, 8-10. Looking at Minnesota, Milwaukee. Minnesota now laying 5.5. I believe that opened at 4 this morning. Of course, the big one, Lakers, Oklahoma City. We know this is a revenge game for the Oklahoma City. I'm just going to say I'm laying it. I don't care what the spread is. It's coming down. It is coming down. It looks like Ron Hahn said. I was looking at RotoWire, so if he's got Fantasy Labs up, he's saying that both playing. So,
oh yeah, no, the line is totally. I mean, when this thing you go from
it's going to go back down to 8.5. I think where it opened.
In there. They're both in there.
And Golden State at Phoenix. Golden State's up to now 9.5, 226.5. And the Clippers at home, you know what they do, 12.5, 227.5. What do you got in those 4 there, Ramon?
Yeah, I'll go down to the matchup here between San Antonio and the Clippers tonight. I'm going to look to go over in this one. The Clippers, we know how well they've been looking on the at home right now and just getting ready for the postseason. They're going to be a sneaky contender, it feels like to me, and maybe worth a shot on maybe some futures. I know we had big news. I know we're picking games here, Ron, but Denver, obviously, they fired their coach today, so there's a little bit of upheaval here in the Western Conference right now. Sure, the Lakers are looking pretty outstanding with what's going on with their stars, but hey, the Clippers are going to have every opportunity here, and they've got stars, so they've covered 6 of their last 7. I'm going to end up on the over here. This is a series that's been going under, but San Antonio, ever since Victor went out, they've kind of been going over. They've gone over in 5 of their last 7 here as well of late. So I just think the Clippers here probably get a blowout win, and I think this one probably ends up going over here, and I've got it to go over at 228.5 now. So going over here, it's trickled up a little bit for sure.
Sounds good. For me, like I already said, I'm laying it with Oklahoma City. 26-12, their number is 15, so they're going to cover whatever comes down to. And going to lay with the Clippers. 19-7 is a home favorite, average and winning by 14, so I think we get a little value, a couple points there. And like I said, in this block is my NBA three-point play. You can get that note at Tony's Picks right now for that one. All right, that's it for NBA. Let's move over to Major League Baseball, and let's look at we'll split this up in a couple categories here. So starting at 640, we got St. Louis Skeens Day, right? Pittsburgh minus 140, 6.5 to the under right now. Of course, the Dodgers off that loss yesterday to Washington. They're coming back. They're laying 170 on the road. Toronto and Boston. We got the kid Lucas is going to go tonight against Crochet, and that's minus 200 for the Red Sox in that one. And we'll split them up right there. So what do you got in these first 4 there, Ramon?
Yeah, Ron. The first 4 games here in this block, I'm going to look to the Dodgers here to bounce back against Washington. I'm going to go ahead and even lay the run line here with the Dodgers here. A little bit of a rough spot here for the Dodgers, a couple L's, but I'm not worried about it here. I think they've got a pretty big advantage in this particular matchup with Washington today. Maybe in the pitching department, I want to see this. How Washington goes about it with Lord starting here, and Robleski. Look, this is probably the weak spot of the Dodgers rotation, but I'm going to look for the Dodgers to have a better day today than yesterday. I know a lot of people were talking about that trip to the White House. Maybe they faded there a little bit in yesterday's game, but pretty big price. But I'm going to take Dodger Blue here on the run line, currently at -1.5 at. Let me get that for you. -110 today. I'm going Dodgers run line.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I do like the over in that one. Not sure what these two pitchers are going to bring to the table. I think it's still raining in Washington, so watch that for those alerts there. But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Only first 5. I don't trust that bullpen. There is no way I'm getting to that bullpen, and Skeens probably won't throw a complete game. I'd like to see him do it, though. I almost saw Hunter Green throw one last night. Oh, by the way, all our Nerfies hit, didn't they? Every one of them. So that was a nice 3-team parlay for Erica there on those 3 Nerfies last night.
Right.
Let's go to the next set of games. We got the LA Angels at Tampa Bay at Steinbrenner Field. Tampa laying 165. Philadelphia at Atlanta. It's a big series right here. Atlanta trying to get right, and we see they're favored. Chris Sale over Zach Wheeler in that one. 110 either way. The Texas Rangers, I said it last night, they're just not hitting, man. I don't know how they were 8-2. I loved the Cubs last night. One of my best bets, actually. Cubs laying 160 again in that one. My Royals laying 115. We got Cole Reagans on the mound. Hopefully he bounce back this time against Pablo Lopez. What do you got in those for?
I'm going to go to the Angels here on the road against Tampa. We've seen low scores so far in Tampa, but I'm kind of worried here. I think this one I'm going to head up with the over. Liam Hendricks going up against Shane Baz here in this one. Angels have definitely been going over here. They're 5-0 to the over as an underdog. So Tampa's been all unders so far, but with Tampa a big favorite here, they should win. It's a baseball game after all, and Angels can do something maybe, but I'm going to look for it to go over here. Actually, 10 of the last 14 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Tampa's a dead under at home so far this season. I get that, but tonight here with the total at 8.5, that's been trending upward here. So I think that's a market move for me that I'm paying attention to, because early on it looked like the money was coming in on the under, and I think the public is kind of they're on, the tickets are over, but I'm going to go over here with Angels and Rays today.
Over with the Angels and Rays. The Angels have been surprising. They had a nice series against the Cleveland Guardians out there in Anaheim. So, yeah, my spreadsheet dog of the day is Philadelphia. I still like it. I like Zach Wheeler. I like for him to go in there and take care of business. Phillies are just hitting a lot better than Atlanta. 268 average of 193 for Atlanta. And I'll take my Royals again tonight. Royals are hitting the ball really, really good here at Kauffman Stadium. So Minnesota, there's just something wrong with that team. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I actually had them winning the AL Central, but something's wrong with that team right now. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the last 5 there. Ramon, Milwaukee at Colorado. Coors, Milwaukee -150. Peralta on the mound against Kyle Freeland. And Baltimore, Arizona, it's pretty much even. It looks like Merrill Kelly's going against old man Charlie Morton. And then we got Houston, Valdez. I heard he might have been ill, but I think he's still going, last I heard. And it's going against the good Castillo, not the Timo one, right? So not Luis F. We got the good Castillo on the mound. Seattle laying 130 in that one. Cincinnati at Frisco. Nice, good game last night. Bullpen gave it up for Frisco late. Cost me a premium in that one. We got Roop against Lodolo, and Roop's laying 125 at home. And finally, San Diego pulled it off last night. Didn't get the run line for us, but maybe we'll get it tonight. Dylan Cease against Springs. at Tent City. So what you got in those last 5, Ramon?
Well, I whiffed with Baltimore last night, or I had the Diamondbacks, and I'm going to try them again. I'm going to use them as my play here on the show, just out of concern, right? I kind of want to go with Kelly over Morton. I kind of want to fade Charlie Morton here, but Merrill Kelly hasn't looked great either. He is 1-1, but he did get rocked in his loss. So, but Morton is 0-2 so far, and both games kind of went over. So I'm going to give Arizona a chance to bounce back here. They've done well in the past against the Orioles, winning 8 of the last 12 here at home against Baltimore. That's a few years sample size, just that Arizona's in a little bit of a slump here, having lost the 3 straight games. And Baltimore, they have looked pretty good here over the last couple of games. They actually have won 5 of the last 6 against Arizona overall. It's just Arizona's won the home games. So I'm going to try to come back here with Merrill Kelly in this one. I actually expect the Arizona Bats to get back to work a little bit here against Charlie Morton. I talked up the Arizona offense earlier in the season. Maybe they've had a little bit of a downturn here, but you look at this lineup. I can't get off these guys right now. And at this price, it's good enough for me here. In fact, they've moved to the slightest of dogs here right now. They started a favorite overnight. So probably minus 105 on Arizona, but we're starting to see maybe a little plus money out there. Not yet, but we'll see. I'll take Arizona at home. I'm going to try them one more time here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go back to Arizona. Lost last night was Zach Gallen, man. Something was wrong with that guy last night. Had a great outing on the road, comes at home, another crappy outing. So at home. So we got to watch Zach Gallen this year. Something's going on at home there. I got my premium in the Milwaukee, Colorado game. You can get that right now at Tony's Picks. And I'm going to take San Diego. I know it's a low line. It seems like a trap, but I will never, ever, ever fade Dylan Cease. The guy threw a no-hitter on me one time in Washington, and I was like, nope, never again. So seems kind of low, but I'm going to go with Cease minus 125 in that one. All right, that wraps up ML. What'd you say?
First place Padres.
That's right. Yeah. So that wraps up MLB action. Let's go to the ice. We've got a pretty good schedule on the ice as well. Good call for Rod, man. Seattle last night, the Kraken. Rod nailed that one outright. All right. Let's start with the 7 o'clock games. There's a bunch of them too, all right? I guess we'll split them down the middle. Let's go to 7 to 8. Ramon. First off, we got Carolina laying 250 on the road at Buffalo. Total 6.5 is there. Ottawa at Columbus. Ottawa laying 115 on the road, 6 for the total. Boston at New Jersey. The Devils laying 235, 5.5. Shade way to the under. Chicago and Pittsburgh. Yeah, it looks like Pittsburgh's laying 200. Wow. 6.5. Yeah. Toronto at Florida. Florida 155, 5.5. Detroit at Montreal. The Habs laying 135 and a total of 5.5 in that one. What you got in this first group there, Ramon?
I'm going to go to the Toronto-Florida game because it's just so intriguing that Toronto basically started off as a favorite in this game, and Florida has ended up as pretty much a heavy favorite right now, upwards of 155, 160 here. Look, Leafs have guys out for sure. McCabe is out, Camp is out here tonight. So the Panthers they have guys out too, including strong players here. Nico Sturm, Sam Bennett's out. So Barkov is in. He's probable in this game, but I'm going to end up here taking the under in this one. The way I see it, if Florida is moving to such a strong favorite after being a slight underdog here, I think that means Toronto is going to come up with something close to just 1 or 2 goals here, if that. So I got the under here in this one. I think the move is very significant. I think Florida may actually end up pitching something close to a shutout or allow just one tonight against the Leafs. I'm going to go under with Toronto and Florida here.
Under. I like that. I'm gonna fade Carolina. You know what they do on the road? We talked about it all year. They just are not a good road team. It's going to kill them in a playoff. Same thing with the LA Kings. Give me Buffalo. plus 210, big money there at home. And I'm gonna lay it with Montreal. They're favored for a reason. They're fighting. They're playing really good hockey right now. Montable's in net against Cam Talbot for Detroit. I am going to take the Montreal Canadiens. That's actually my spreadsheet play of the day. So give you that away. It's on Twitter. So all right, next group of games, we got the Islanders at Nashville. Islanders laying 125. We got Vancouver at the Stars. Stars 195, and it is DeSmith in goal. I see that for Dallas against Demko. And then Seattle at Utah, Grubauer and Vamilka. Wow, Utah laying 225. I guess because it's back-to-back for Seattle, but wow, I don't like Utah at home. Vegas, this is a good one here. Looks like Wedgwood and Schmid going for Vegas, and then Wedgwood for Colorado. Avs laying 140 in that one, total 6. What do you got in these last round?
Yeah, I ended up on the under with Vancouver and Dallas. Look, there's no doubt that Vancouver here has been going over 8 of their last 9 on the road. Dallas has been a solid over in the second half of the season. But I look at the matchup tonight. The total is often reflected in the way Dallas's streak has been, as far as when they've had kind of a high number lately and they've been going over more of late. It has gone over. All of a sudden, we're back to 5.5 over with Dallas. That's really what we came to expect with Dallas most of the season, most of the last couple of seasons, really, with Dallas being so solid defensively, especially at home in low-scoring games. So I'm just going to think that this is a reversal to kind of the norm. I think the norm for Dallas anyway here tonight. Like I said, if you look at recent results, these two teams have definitely begun over here of late. But in this matchup, given the current situation with Vancouver's standing and Dallas standing currently, Dallas probably locked into that number 2 position in the Central, and Vancouver, they're probably going to end up a little bit short here. So of the postseason. So I've got the under here tonight with Vancouver and Dallas. Vancouver plays better on the road. We know that. They might even be able to steal this one here. I just think it's going to be a 2-1 or 3-2 tonight with Vancouver and Dallas.
Yeah, I'm looking at that game. Dallas lost the other night and Winnipeg took advantage, and they took advantage last night once again. That was my best bet in the Winnipeg Jets on the puck line. Dallas needs this one because they're still trying to catch Winnipeg. So I really think that Dallas comes to play. I'm really surprised they put DeSmith in here. I know they have a big one coming up with Winnipeg, so maybe they're saving Ottinger for that one, but I'm really surprised there. So, yeah, Trevor, I like that pick as well. I love the hockey club and the Stars, if you want to parlay those two up. My best bet is on the Colorado Golden Knights game. You can get that right now at Tony's Picks. Like I said, winner you last night with the Winnipeg Jets. So that wraps it up. Ramon, let's see. You want to talk a little bit about tomorrow's Champions League? What are you looking at? And maybe if you have some tennis on the board for some people here.
I will, but I'll have some tennis. I probably have premium. I've been enjoying Monte Carlo. We came through again with the Fabio Caboli this morning. So I'll be rolling something, I think, in the middle of the night with some more tennis. We're off to a 3-1 start here so far since Tony's loaded us back up, and we're back under with some of these peripheral sports. So I love tennis. I love the clay court season. So tomorrow, though, we're on in the Champions League with Dortmund and Barcelona. Look, Barcelona should be able to smash tomorrow here. A goal and a half, a little high, and we're looking at the same thing with the Villa and PSG tomorrow. So, look, we saw these results today. We saw a 3-0 game. We saw a 2-1 game. So, tell me, Ron, what am I going to do tomorrow? And you tell me.
Well, I don't know after today, man. I lost today's game, so I really don't know. Real Madrid really, man, that's just unbelievable. They couldn't get one. Arsenal came to play though at Emirates, but you got to go to Bernabeu, so we'll see what happens in the reverse fixture. I'm going to actually look at, and they've been playing great football in EPL, and I'm going to look at Aston Villa.
Mm-hmm.
And Villa has been, I mean, it doesn't matter where they're playing, but PSG is definitely the better side. But I'm going to look at Villa to try to get a result, some kind of points here. I know PSG is definitely the better side, but I think this could be the shocker, and I think Barcelona runs away with it. That's just my opinion. I don't trust Dortmund. I don't trust them in Bundesliga either. So definitely, I would look at Villa. What, goal and a half? You're getting plus 1.5, maybe 2. So I would look at that. All right, that wraps it up. We're gonna parlay segment, and any questions in the chat, we're monitoring that right now. And I'll have a KBO selection here for you in just a few minutes. Ramon, what do you got for sale? And you got a parlay for these people?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to roll something here in college baseball tonight. We're on a Tuesday weekday games tonight here. So I like Louisville. Oh, this is a 3-teamer. This is some favorites tonight. You could parlay these up if you'd like. Louisville tonight over Kentucky. They're already up to about $1.50. Georgia Tech over Auburn. They're even going a little bit higher here, probably about $1.75 or so, maybe even higher. And NC State against North Carolina State, $1.35 or so. So I'm going to maybe roll a little 3-teamer in college baseball tonight. Over at Tony'sPicks.com, you can get my plays in all 3 major sports tonight. Got baseball, basketball, and hockey 3-pack over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout and save 15% off those premium pick packages. I'm rolling pretty heavy tonight with this big card. There's a lot to choose from. Kind of running out of games in the NBA and NHL that mean anything. So I kind of, when I got a premium run, unless it's a strong, it's got to be 2 teams that are kind of battling. At least one team has to have something to play for a little bit. And I think I found the best spots tonight over at Tony'sPicks.com.
Yeah, Ramon brings up a great point, guys. Watch it, because this is the last week of NHL. It's the last week of NBA. We got plenty of time. Wait for the playoffs. Everybody's playing. We know what stats are going to work. So just kind of hold off until next week. Then we get everything going next Saturday with the play-in rounds coming, and also the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs start.
If anybody, Ron, has got the winner in Chicago and Pittsburgh, I'm all ears. I'll roll with you guys.
Pittsburgh fair by that much, but I mean, Chicago's ass on the road, so you don't want to. I don't know what you want to do there anyway. I don't know what I got tonight. I got 3-pack in Major League Baseball. I got my best bet on the ice and my NBA 3-point play. You can get that right now at Tony's Picks. For my, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals. I'm going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and give me Skeens first 5, Pittsburgh first 5. Lay that. There's my 3-team parlay. And tomorrow morning, we did hit with Doosan. We walked it off this morning, so it was kind of a sweat, but we got a winner. Take the Kia Tigers tomorrow morning. That'll be 4:30 a.m. Eastern time if you're up. But yeah, Kia Tigers. Also look at Samsung. We've been going to the well a lot with Samsung. I was going to give them last night as a 1.5, but they're only laying 155 now. Seems kind of fishy there. Giddy is out. Okay, thanks, Jermaine. Vuk's out. Yeah, and Trey. Yeah, Trey. I saw Trey was probable in that one. So yeah, that's about it. Anything else you got, Ramon?
No, I think that's it for tonight, Ron. Good job hosting the show, and thanks to Rod behind
Rod
the scenes.
in the background. He's lurking. What's up, Solo? Solo lurking too. I like when Solo lurking. You got anything for NBA, Solo? You've been killing it. Oh, Jerry, you got a push on -1 on Deuce. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's that happens.
There's your play.
Lakers money line. Yeah, wow. Solo's going back to the Lakers. All right. Yeah, everybody's playing, so we'll see what happens there. But thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Good luck with all your plays, and don't forget to check out tomorrow morning. You got Tony's morning show. at 9:30 Eastern. So make sure you catch that. And Rod will definitely be back for that. See Tony and probably see Solo and a couple others you're very familiar with. Thanks, everybody. And you guys have a great night. Let's get them.